Hello everyone, welcome back to another Shadow Fight video. Today was a little bit of an unplanned video because I'm going to be reviewing the Shadow Fight Arena PC closed beta test. And I do have some mixed opinions on it, both good and bad. Now this was a huge surprise to me because I only signed up for this I believe less than a week ago. And I already got it, which is crazy. I expected this to take at least 1 to 2 weeks, but I guess Neki's working fast to get this out, so, it's whatever. More power to them, I guess. I don't want to waste your time, so I'll just start talking. So I'll start off with some of the good news and things that generally surprised me. Now, the first thing that was really good about this is the performance. Now, I don't know if I addressed this in my other PC video, but I did say that this will run super easily. But I underestimated that. Now, for reference, my computer, it is a laptop. It's around 4 to 5 years old. And when I tell you that this game was running on high graphics with 120 frames and somehow struggling less than some browsers, I mean it. This game ran so light. My PC had 0 issues running this. It barely even got hot. That's crazy to me. Now, I guess this is one of the perks of being a mobile game being ported to PC, and the fact that they've already made it extremely optimized. So yeah, that was a very welcome surprise that this is very not resource intensive. And yeah, like I said, that sort of ties to my next point. I mean, obviously, yeah, they did not lie. I was hitting 120 frames pretty consistently, sometimes 144, actually mostly 144 with some drops. Obviously you guys can't see that because my recording software only does up to 60, so for you guys this probably looks the exact same, so you'll just have to take my word for it that I am seeing at a higher frame rate, and it looks really nice. I do really hope that they bring this feature over to mobile. As a guy with a pretty good phone, I would really love to see 120 FPS. That would be so cool. But who knows, maybe that's on the way. Now, I did use the controller because I like to play fighting games on controllers rather than keyboards. And Shadow Fight does have support for controllers. They actually already have it on the phone. So it wasn't really that much of a different experience on the PC. But one thing that was really annoying was the fact that I can actually assign my own controls, which is really annoying. Most fighting games is pretty, most games in general, it's pretty standard to give you some customization over the controls. It's crazy because on PC, on keyboard, you have full control over anything that you want. Anything you could possibly want, you can put on that the keyboard. But when it comes to the controller, they give you one layout and they call it a day. And the controller experience is a little sucky, I'm not gonna lie. Obviously in game it's less visible, but I would definitely like to have some different inputs for certain situations. I would love to be able to dash with the right shoulder instead of having to hit forward twice, or I would just like to reroute my buttons. For example, I'm really used to hitting the Y button, the top button, to attack, and then for B for other attacks. So for me, when I started it, I kept hitting Y, which in this game is the range button, which made games really funny. So yeah, I mean, obviously it'll take some time for me to get used to, but I feel like that should be a feature that should be added soon. I don't know how hard it is. I believe that you can reroute it yourself through Steam. I personally don't have much knowledge in that, so yeah. By the way, guys, if you have not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to the channel. It would help me out so much. It really helps me know what type of videos you guys like, and if you want to be more specific with showing your support, make sure to leave a comment and like the video. Another interesting thing about the controller is that I did not actually even know about until I loaded into a game was the use of haptics. Now, if you don't know what haptics are essentially vibrations in your controller that vibrate. I don't know how else to finish that sentence. So usually in games when they use vibration, it's usually not that much. It's a little bit here and there. Shadow Fight, or I guess Neki, went all the way. Every single attack in this game has its own haptic or vibration, and it all vibrates in a different way to make you feel the impact. If you're doing a kick, or like a lower damage attack, it feels a little different than a shadow move or a crit or a block break. It's actually kind of crazy how that is. Like, it's almost to the point where I'm pretty sure that you can basically tell what attack is what if you played with the controller enough. It's crazy. Every single attack has one, and I guess that's supposed to sort of simulate like how it is on a phone, because when your phone screen shakes, you feel as if it's a big impact. So the equivalent of that is just vibrating the controller. Now, you can turn that off if you want. Personally, I think I'm going to keep it on. It does make it feel sort of nice. Although I will say sometimes it does get a little annoying because obviously it has to turn on for every single attack. For some characters, like Dynasty characters, it can get a little annoying. Another problem with controller was definitely the fact that the UI was not seemingly designed for a controller. A lot of what you had to do was through moving around the joystick through such incredulous places, like just to hit a button, which is really annoying. Like, it would be so much more helpful if they just made it so that certain buttons could go to things, like especially like selecting a hero and changing the talent trees were just so monotonous and annoying. So I would love to see essentially just more controller love. You know, as a controller player, I would really love to see that. Now let's talk about the Express token, which is their solution to not having ads in Steam. As I talked about in my last video about PC, Steam does not allow monetization through ads in their system, which is a problem for Neki because a lot of Shadow Fight Arena's progression is tied to these ads. So instead they have these Express tokens where essentially you get 2 free, and then you can get a bunch more just through doing general things. So you can, I think you can play story mode, you can play ranked games, and you'll get more of these basically ad skip tokens. So you'll get the same amount of rewards as a mobile player, but without watching the ads. And that is better for people who wanna play on PC. That is way better. But if you were a person that was trying to maybe use both, and then use like PC to skip ads and then play on your phone, you're going to have to play on PC to get a majority of the ad skip. I guess that they thought about that, or maybe it was just the easiest way to implement it. Now lastly, they have the local mode. The local mode, I'm not going to lie, I was really disappointed. So first off, there's no local 3v3. It's only local 1v1. And the UI that they use for this is actually kind of stupid. So essentially, you can't both use different builds on the same hero. The idea is that it's kind of the regular menu, except you now have to select it from a drop-down, kind of like in training mode, which is kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of us were expecting like a full-on like console type UI, where like you can choose on one screen what characters you want, what talents you want, and then on the other side of the screen you can choose it. But instead we got a drop down. Now, I don't know if this is just Neki being lazy, maybe they fired their UI designers, or maybe this is just like a beta thing and then when it comes globally it'll look better. But for now, I do not like this. I feel like that it should look and feel much better. Even if there's not going to be that many people who are going to be playing local, let's be real here, it still should be a feature that is looked at. But past that, I don't really think there's that much more for me to talk about. I mean, at the end of the day, this is basically just regular SFA, except on PC. Obviously, I expected bigger changes to progression, as did a lot of people, or at least some changes to appeal to PC players. But it seems that Neki is more focused on just getting this out. You know, maybe they believe that because SFA is in its 5th year, nobody really cares if it's going to flop at this point. You know, they're just going to keep putting out content until they can't, and then move on to the next game. So yeah, that's about it. Overall, I do think that there will be an audience for Shadow Fight PC. Like, it definitely does run better. It definitely does do what a lot of people wanted their PC experience to be like. So yeah, it does beat BlueStacks by a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I never had a good experience with BlueStacks. It sucked ass. So yeah, thank you guys for watching and have a good day.